sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
What's up? What's good? Good evening and welcome to All About Sports 216 with me, Keith Allen, on this Thursday evening. Pleasant Thursday evening. Seems a little bit chilly, but everything is all good on this pleasant Thursday evening. What's up, y'all? Excuse me for 1 second. I just wanted to do a couple of things. But anyway, what's up? What's good? Welcome to All About Sports 216 with your man, Keith Allen. The show on this Thursday evening, October the 16th, 2025. I have a lot to talk about with you all this evening, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll be talking about the Cleveland Browns as they take on the Miami Dolphins this week after losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, 23-9. The Ohio State Buckeyes make another trip out to Wisconsin to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. The Cleveland Cavaliers season starts next Wednesday. I am excited. I don't know about you, but I am excited. And I'm not going to let last season's premature second round exit from the playoffs deter me this year. Got high hopes for the Cavs. Also, I'm going to talk about the Major League Baseball playoffs. LA, Milwaukee, the series is in LA. LA is up 2-0. And the most intriguing series, which I think might be an instant ALCS classic the way it's shaping up to be, is Toronto and the Seattle Mariners. Then I also have my quick picks. As I'll have my quick picks for this week. Well, actually my quick pick for Thursday. Between the Steelers and the Bengals. The battle of two grumpy old men. Joe Flacco of the Bengals. Aaron Rodgers of the Steelers. Excuse me as I had a little slight case of the hiccups. Also, I want to tell you all that the chat lines are open. Feel free to holler at me. The chat lines are open. Feel free to holler at me. But first off, we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. I don't know why they always lead off the show. Maybe if the Cavs get off to another hot start, the Cavs will lead off the show. But the Cleveland Browns do lead off the show. But before I get into the Cleveland Browns, let me give y'all a word from my sponsor. Anointed Angel Apparel, where faith, family, and fashion come together. From stylish t-shirts and cozy sweatshirts to dazzling bling rhinestone shirts that shine with purpose. We design every piece with God at the center. But we don't stop there. Discover personalized tumblers, beautiful photo slates, custom engraving, and even UV 3D textured home decor items that make your house a home. In every design, Anointed Angel Apparel carries a message of hope, faith, love, because we're more than just a family, more than just a brand. We're a family business devoted to lifting up the name of Jesus. Shop with us today and wear your faith boldly. Anointed Angel Apparel, where your testimony becomes your style. Email anointedangel.apparel.com for a custom consultation. I'm back. AllAboutSports216 The Show here on this Thursday evening. And I'm going to start off with, as usual, the headline story here in Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns lost last week to the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-9, where the Browns failed to score a touchdown. They scored 3 field goals. Even though they didn't have no turnovers, there was almost 4 or 5 almost turnovers and stuff like that. And it was a game that really looked like the Cleveland Browns weren't prepared or weren't ready to play. The defense was a little blah. Need I say the most? They was a little blah. The offense was putrid as usual. 3 field goals, no touchdowns. The only good thing was, special teams. The kicker made all his kicks. Andrew Schmidt, shout out to him. He made all his kicks. It was a game where Pittsburgh just physically demonstrated their will on the Browns last Sunday. And I didn't really see no fight in the Browns at all last Sunday. Pittsburgh went on ahead to win. They're now 4-1 in first place in the AFC North. And I'm gonna be honest, Pittsburgh, for them to be a first place team, I wasn't really all that impressed for the most. No. Wasn't really all that impressed. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. Win. They were supposed to beat the Cleveland Browns at home, and that's what they did. But I wasn't all that impressed, for real. Wasn't impressed with the offense. The running game is still suspect. The running game was suspect, but the Steelers do what they do. They ran. They ran the ball to keep the Browns, honest. Aaron Rodgers did his 1-2 and everything, But the fact that the Browns didn't have no fight, and this is supposed to be a rivalry game, but if you look at Pittsburgh's side of the fence, it's not really a rivalry game. It's just another game on their schedule. To Pittsburgh, Cincinnati is more of a rival. To Pittsburgh now, Baltimore is the main rival. Cleveland is like an afterthought to Pittsburgh. For real, they're just like an afterthought to Pittsburgh. It's not really no longer a rivalry because, Pittsburgh wins most of the time, and it's not a rivalry at all. Not a rivalry at all. But Pittsburgh had the pads popping last week. Gotta give it to them. They had the pads popping. Even though I'm not really impressed with their team as a whole, but they really had the pads popping and everything. And right now, hey, they're taking advantage of the weak part of their schedule. That schedule gets hellacious. Hellacious after this game. When they play Cincinnati tonight, it gets hellacious. And I'm going to say a couple of things. Mike Tomlin caught himself calling Andrew Berry out for trading Joe Flacco down to their division rival, the Cincinnati Bengals. And honestly, I really don't see nothing into it at all and stuff like that and everything. I think Mike Tomlin just wanted to face Jake Browning instead of Joe Flacco because he know Joe Flacco can go on the streak for about 4 or 5 games where dude will look magnificent. Magnificent. He absolutely looked magnificent, and he could give the Steelers fits tonight. Then there's also the Joe Flacco where he looked like with the Browns. But I'm willing to bet it was more of the Browns this year with Flacco than it is. Because I watched the game with Cincinnati and Green Bay, and the first half, Cincinnati couldn't do nothing. But in the second half, Flacco started getting the ball to them receivers, and they started moving down the field and started scoring some points. And like I said, a lot of it that went on here in Cleveland really wasn't Flacco's fault, because when you ain't got no offensive line, your tackles are terrible. Then your receivers are hot dumpster juice trash. What can you do? Dylan Gabriel's finding that out now. What can you do? For real. But today, the Cleveland Browns are preparing to go up against another team that got problems just as much as the Browns do, in the 1-5 Miami Dolphins. Both teams struggling. Both at 1-5. Shoot, Tua called out the whole team after the game on Sunday against the LA Chargers, in which they lost at home 29-27. That team is mid-turmoil. No Tyreek Hill, because he's out for the rest of the season with a dislocated knee. Miami, on defense, they're bad. They're terrible. They're ranked very low amongst the teams in the NFL in total team defense. Offense, they can get some points. I'm going to be honest. You got Tua back there. You might not have Tyreek Hill no more, but you still got Jalen Waddle, and you still got running back Devin Achane. He's nice. But Miami, just like the Browns, losing culture. And with a losing culture, teams figure out ways in a losing culture to lose games. Trust and believe. And it's a matter of who wants to win this game on Sunday. To be honest, it's a matter of who wants to win this game. I think whoever loses this game, I'm be honest, Miami, if they lose this game, Mike McDaniel probably get fired after this game. If Miami loses to Cleveland. Then on the other side, if Cleveland loses here at home to Miami, the seat gets hotter on the great coach, Kevin Stefanski, the 2-time coach of the year. The seat will just get awfully hotter on Coach Kev. To be honest, and like I said, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to tell you the truth. If the Browns lose this game to Miami and the offense looks shitty, and if the Browns lose the next game to New England and the offense continues to look shitty, change will be on the horizon. And honestly, going into a bye week on top of that too, change will definitely be on the horizon, because Kevin's seat will be super hot. To the point where I'm going to tell you how it'll all go down. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam, one thing Jimmy understands is orange seats in this stadium. And Jimmy, if the Browns are 1-7 at the bye week, he's going to advocate, him and Barry are probably going to advocate for Shedeur Sanders to start, to keep fan interest alive. And it'll be a chance for Shedeur. And plus, you got more time to prepare over the bye week. But I'm going to tell you right now, If Kevin balks at that idea, if the Browns are 1-7 at the bye week and the offense has not made no substantial changes or gains, Kevin will be fired. He will be fired. I guarantee it. He will be fired if he balks at the fact that they want to start Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. He'll be fired. And actually, it'll be the perfect time for Shedeur to get in there. Honestly, during the bye week, you got 2 weeks to prepare, and you can tailor the offense to Shedeur's talents, Kevin. If you lose the next 2 games and Dillon Gabriel and the offense still looks unimaginative, the offense still doesn't put up points. Because I'm going to tell you all something on the for real side. For the Browns, actually, since Dillon Gabriel been playing, quarterback really isn't your problem. Now, quarterback hasn't been the Browns' problem. The Browns' problem is offensive line. Especially at tackle. Now, the guard, the interior line with Bitonio, even though he's old, Bitonio, Posick, and Teller has been for the most solid. But the tackles, oh my God. The tackles. And Conklin probably is not playing this week. He's not playing. What can I say? What can I say? Conklin's not playing. Let's see. Conklin's not playing. That means if Conklin is not playing, that means the return of the great Cornelius Lucas at tackle. Right, left, turnstile. And that ain't going to bode well for Gabriel, especially if Lucas has to play on the right-hand side, which is Dillon Gabriel's blind side. That doesn't bode well at all, even though it's against Miami, who Miami's got one of the sorriest defenses in the NFL. But the fact of Cornelius Lucas playing at tackle, no Conklin, and also Robinson got hurt, but I haven't heard too much about him. I think more than likely he probably will play this Sunday, I hope. But we will see. But really, to be honest, quarterback isn't your problem. It's your tackles on your offensive line. And your wide receivers can't catch a cold. Wide receivers can't catch a cold. I mean, Jared Jeudy, 13 attempts to him. He only caught 5. That's bad. And he dropped a couple of key passes in the game. The balls was in his hands. This wide receiver core has got to go down as, like they said, I remember one year when the Guardians was the Indians back in the days, and I think I was a teenager, and they gave the Indians a term with their bullpen. They called the Indians bullpen the bullpen from hell. That wide receiver room is the wide receiver room from hell. That is the wide receiver room from hell. So many passes Dillon Gabriel did through, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a couple passes that was hospital throws Gabriel threw, but the majority of a lot of them passes that Gabriel threw was in receivers' hands. And they just dropped. One he threw at Isaiah Pond's head. If Isaiah would have been looking, Probably could have caught it and scored a touchdown. But ball bounced off his head. And I mean, I'm just going to say it like this. The Cleveland Browns offense is very offensive. Very offensive. Like I said, and truthfully, I'm going to be honest. I told somebody was saying something about Stefanski and Barry is the problem. Truthfully, to be honest, Cleveland Browns really should cut bait with both. Because even though Barry had a successful draft this year, so far from what it looks like, he has fucked up in the past 5 years drafting. Look at Jedrick Wills. How did that turn out? 5 years, you didn't re-sign him, and now Jedrick is literally out the league. Bad. Wide receiver position. David Bell announced his retirement. David Bell, probably a nice guy, but he couldn't really get open. Schwartz, they drafted in the 3rd round. He probably could get open, but he couldn't catch. Big miss. He's 3rd rounders. And they got another big miss now. They got a big miss with Zach Zinter, who's a 3rd round pick and doesn't even suit up for games. Imagine that. Imagine that. Like I said, I mean, Barry has missed a lot. He has whiffed a lot. Now, he's made some picks that were good. Delpit, decent. Martin Emerson. First couple years were decent. But on the whole thing is, and then this year in the draft, where you know you need offensive linemen, and you know you need receivers, but drafted neither. You drafted 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. What the hell is really going on? But I will say this for the Browns game, since the weather is supposed to be kind of crazy, with 40 plus mile per hour winds and rain, I expect this to be a Quinshon Judkins special. He should run the ball 30 times this Sunday. If he don't run the ball anything north of 20, something is wrong. Or something is going on. Because this spells as a Quinshon Judkins run game. It should. It should. But like I said, you dealing with Kevin Stefanski. I remember a couple years back when the Browns played New Orleans and we was airing the ball out and it was like 10 below 0 outside. So, like I said, this should be a Quinshon Judkins game, but the Browns, believe it or not, are a 2.5 favorite in this game. But I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to pick. But I will let you know on Sunday afternoon. On Sunday afternoon, I'll definitely let you know on Sunday afternoon when I have the, let's see how I'm going to do this here. I'll let y'all know on Sunday afternoon who I pick in this game because I don't know. Because really, both teams are shit fires, dumpster fires. Culture's bad on both games. But on Sunday at 12 p.m., there will be an AllAboutSports216 Cleveland Browns pregame show with the Browns and the Miami Dolphins. And I give you my insights on who I think is going to win this game coming up this Sunday. Then, Now, enough with the Browns. We're going to get to some Ohio State football. Ohio State, ranked number 1 in the nation, makes a trip to Wisconsin to take on the Wisconsin Badgers, who are not too good this year. The Badgers are 2-4. They're 14th in the Big Ten. Forgot the Big Ten got 16 teams now. Some of Wisconsin's stat leaders. Quarterback Danny O'Neal, 640 yards with 5 touchdowns, 5 INTs. Russian running back Dylan Jones, 286 yards. Receiving yards, Vinny Anthony, the second, with 274 receiving yards. Now, Dylan Jones does have 2 touchdowns. Vinny Anthony has 1 touchdown with along the 31 yards. And on defense, Christian Allegro leads the Badgers in tackles. And safety Preston Zachman leads the Badgers in interceptions. This game, Wisconsin is physical, but I don't see it happening. I think Ohio State will win big. Just being honest, I think Ohio State will win this game huge, and I don't think it's even going to be close. Because with the running game with Bo Jackson, and the passing game with Julian Sand passing oh my God, passing to the receivers that Ohio State got, man, it's going to get ugly. It is going to get ugly in Wisconsin, and Ohio State will probably come out victorious on top against Wisconsin and continue to be ranked number 1 and hopefully get to 7-0 for Ohio State. And I'm going to pivot from football and I'm going to go to basketball, where the Cleveland Cavaliers start their season next Wednesday. I got to show you something. I've been meaning to show y'all for the longest, but for some reason I get distracted and everything. But here's the Cavs that are ranked in the top 50 of NBA players. Ranked the highest is power forward Evan Mobley, ranked 13. Guard Donovan Mitchell, ranked at 15. Guard Darius Garland, ranked at 38. Darius Garland was doing some 5-on-5. So hopefully he should be coming back sooner than later. He probably won't start the regular season off playing, but hopefully sooner or later, probably in November sometime. And people give Darius a bad rep, but Darius makes buckets, especially in the fourth quarter. Don't forget that. He makes buckets. Jared Allen, ranked 45. Shout out to Jared Allen, who got married this past off season. He's ranked 45. So we got 4 Cavs ranked in the top 100. Really in the top 50 of the NBA's players for this year. Shout out to the Cavs. Honestly, this year, I expect a lot from the Cavs, to be honest. And I'm not going to let their second round exit deter me from last year. I'm not going to let the second round exit deter me from last year. But I expect a lot from the Cavs this year. And I'm going to be honest. Anything short of the Eastern Conference Finals, I would be awfully disappointed. Anything short of the Eastern Conference Finals, I'll be awfully disappointed. Because you look at their roster, even though, look at their roster with the potential starting lineup when let's just say Garland gets back, you got Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, Jared Allen. That's a formidable starting five right there. Formidable starting five. Then coming off the bench, you got Max Strus when he's healthy, Alonzo Ball, and I'm going to be honest, Alonzo Ball is the key to this team. Alonzo Ball, you got Larry Nance Jr., who made his return to Northeast Ohio, and you also got Jalen Tyson. Now, the center spot, and I'm worried about the big man spot. I still think the Cavs need another big, to be honest. I really do. I still think the Cavs need another big. Even though they did pick up Thomas Bryant in free agency, good pickup. He can shoot from the outside and he can get rebounds, and he's an intense player. Needs to bring that intensity to the Cavaliers. I like that. I like love his intensity and everything. He will be huge, but I think the Cavs still need another big. But I like this Cavs team. I definitely like this Cavs team. Then you got Tyrese Proctor. You got Porter. So the Cavs roster is deep. And I'm going to be honest. Anything short of Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, but mainly Eastern Conference Finals, just to be conservative, I will be deeply disappointed. Deeply disappointed. Last year I was disappointed. Ooh, excuse me for a second. Last year I was disappointed, but injuries kind of derailed the Cavs because you had the Darius Garland who couldn't even play on his foot, on his toe or whatever and stuff like that. And that's a turf toe, whatever the injury was, that's an aggravated injury. Very aggravating injury. You know, DeAndre Hunter wasn't right. He had a dislocated finger. Evan Mobley had the ankle problem and everything, but Donovan Mitchell was also hurt. But the key to the Cavs is getting this team, keeping this team healthy through the regular season. So in late April, when it really does count, even though the regular season does count, don't get me wrong on that, but to make that push in the playoffs, hopefully everybody is of good health and the Cavs can make them moves. But I think they need another big, but I'll be very disappointed if this team does not go to the Eastern Conference Finals. For real. I'll be very disappointed. Because honestly, if you look at the East, you have New York under new head coach, Mike Brown. So it's going to be some tinkering and stuff. Because the offense is going to change. And Mike Brown, even though he is a defensive genius and everything, it'll take a little bit to get used. First half of the season for the Knicks will probably be getting acquainted stage. The Orlando Magic, they acquired guard Desmond Bane. That's going to be interesting. Already with Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner, they're going to be a team that you got to watch. They're going to be tough, too, because they're a tough-minded defensive team, and all they really needed was a guy that can shoot from the perimeter, which they got with Desmond Bane. Then, also in the East, you have the Atlanta Hawks, a team nobody's really talking about, but Atlanta is an athletic team. And with the return of Jalen Johnson, they could be a dark horse in the East. To be honest, they could be a dark horse in the East. My dark horse is in the East because it all depends if this team is healthy as well as the Philadelphia 76ers. if you got a healthy Joel Embiid and you got a healthy Paul George, along with Tyrese Maxey and the VJ Edgecombe kid, hopefully the McCain kid can come back from injury. That team will be interesting in the East, if healthy. Then you got the Milwaukee Bucks, you got Giannis, but I don't think Milwaukee got the horses this year. They'll be a playoff team, but I don't think they got the horses this year. Now, a team that could be a dark horse team, especially late, and you can't count them out, is the Boston Celtics. Because they still got Jaylen Brown. They got Anthony Simons. He can shoot now. Along with White. No Jason Tatum till possibly the end of the regular season going into the playoffs. And if that happens, Boston could be very interesting in the East. Other teams, you got the Detroit Pistons. They look to improve upon their landmark season, which they went from winning 14 games to 44, getting into the playoffs and gave the Knicks all they could handle before eventually succumbing to the Knicks in the playoffs under coach J.B. Bickerstaff. They will be interesting. So the East, even though it's not strong as the West, will be a very interesting conference this year. But the Cavs are favored in the East. And like I said, anything short of an Eastern Conference final appearance, I will be totally disappointed. Totally disappointed. But I'm going to move right along here. Oh, there we go. Move right along and talk some MLB playoff action. As now, as you know, both my teams, the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Yankees, have both been sent home to pasture. But, excuse me. But you still got the NLCS with the Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers. The series, matter of fact, the Dodgers game is starting now. Actually started. Dodgers have a 2-0 lead over Milwaukee. They won the first two games in Milwaukee, and the series is now in Los Angeles at Chavez Ravine. I'm going to be honest, I don't see the Milwaukee Brewers taking 2 out of 3 from LA trying to get the series back to Milwaukee. I think the series started in Milwaukee and it ends in LA with the Dodgers making another appearance in the World Series, honestly. Now, in the American League, you have Toronto and Seattle. And that series is very interesting. Seattle took the first 2 games of the series on the road against Toronto with timely hitting. Former Guardian Josh Naylor doing his thing. And Toronto returned the favor last night by whooping on Seattle 13-4 last night. And Toronto put on a hitting clinic. And Toronto is one of them teams offensively. If they get it going, they will be hard to stop. They get it going. Shout out to former Guardian Shane Bieber, who got the victory last night for the Toronto Blue Jays. It seemed like it's the Toronto Guardians and the Seattle Guardians, because you see so many former Guardian players, especially on Toronto. And which made me come to this thought. Maybe it's me, but the Guardians need to fire whoever's in charge of their hitting. Batting coach, they need to fire him. Because how is it that I see that many Guardians players that couldn't hit in Cleveland, as far as Jimenez hit a home run last night. Andres Jimenez Ernie Clement had a career season this year with Toronto. Miles Straw couldn't even hit his own weight here in Cleveland. Goes to Toronto, he's hitting a respectable 270. Had 4 home runs, but couldn't do that here. Josh Naylor always been a terror, so you know. But I think the Guardians need to do something with the hitting philosophy, change hitting coaches, get a hitting coach from the outside of the organization instead of inside of the organization. Get somebody with a different perspective, a different view of things. Because with as many young cats as the Guardians are going to have next year, they're going to need it. They're definitely going to need it. But going back to the series with Toronto and Seattle, I expect that series. I wouldn't be surprised if the series goes 6-7 games. And who I have winning it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if Seattle won the series, and I wouldn't be mad if Toronto won the series. But I think it's going to be an entertaining series, and I'll just go on a limb. I say Toronto wins it in 7. I'll just say that. Toronto wins it in 7. It's going to be interesting, though. But I will say this, ending that, as far as my baseball talk. As far as MVP of the American League should be, and it's often the Aaron Judge MVP Invitational. But this year, I think it should go to Seattle's catcher, Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh is, been a linchpin and catcher for the Seattle Mariners. Also, the dude hit 61 home runs during the regular season and batted a decent average. And doing that from the catching position, which he generated numbers. Mike Piazza wouldn't generate those type of numbers. And Mike Piazza was like 35, 100 RBIs every year. This kid hit 61 home runs. And he should be MVP of the American League. If he's not MVP of the American League, you might as well not give the award out. For real. If he's not MVP of the American League, don't give the award out. Cal Raleigh should get the MVP for the Seattle Mariners, no matter what they do in their series against Toronto. Because Seattle got a sneaky good team, too. Nobody's seen Seattle coming. Everybody kind of seen it in Toronto, but we never got it from Toronto till this season. But Seattle, nobody saw Seattle coming. Then when they made trades, when they acquired Josh Naylor, then they acquired Eugenio Suarez, Seattle became that team. Very interesting series. I think it's going to go 7, and I think Toronto will be on top. But neither team, whether win or lose, has nothing to be ashamed of this year. And I'm going to move right along. It's almost time for me to get up out of here to my quick section of the show where I give you who I think will win a game. And so far, my record sucks. Now, last week was a misprint. Should have been 3-3. Overall, I'm 17-19-1. It should have been 3-3. I got a little lazy and stuff when I was doing my dynamic or whatever and stuff like that. But I'm 17-19-1. And the quick pick for today is Pittsburgh as they go to Cincinnati in the AFC North battle of the grumpy old men. Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, Cincinnati Bengals offense looked better in the second half against Green Bay. And that's not mincing words because Green Bay got one of the top defenses in the NFL. Pittsburgh did what they usually did what they do. They beat the Browns in Cleveland, Beat the Browns in Cleveland 4-1, coming off a bye and everything. They did what they had to do to win and stuff like that. Mike Tomlin made light of the fact that the Browns traded Joe Flacco to Cincinnati and everything. I think more Tomlin wanted to face Browning instead of Flacco. Because, hey, Flacco can go one of them 4 or 5 game streaks where he'll just be electric. For real, for real. But tonight, my quick pick is going to be, see where my arrow is going. Pittsburgh will come out victorious tonight. It will be close. I have Pittsburgh winning this game 24-20. Will be a close game, but I have Pittsburgh winning 24-20, and the Steelers will have a uber game lead over whoever comes next in the AFC North. Which, believe it or not, if Cincinnati loses tonight and the Cleveland Browns somehow win on Sunday, Cleveland Browns will be in second place in the NFC North. Imagine that. Imagine that. But I have Pittsburgh defeating Cincinnati tonight in my quick pick section of the show, and Pittsburgh going to 5-1 in the AFC North. And there it is, y'all. That is my show for this evening. Like I said, for everybody, be sure. First off, I don't know why I did this. Be sure. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook, watching on Instagram, or if you're watching on X, be sure to subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. That's right. Subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. I need all the subscribers I can get. I ain't too proud to beg. I need all the subscribers I can get. No doubt. Also, be reminded that this show comes on every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. That's right, every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Remember that. And the chat lines are always open. Feel free to holler at me. The chat lines are always open. Also, before I leave out, I want to give a shout out to the Las Vegas Aces as they won their third WNBA title in the past 4 years by knocking off the Phoenix Mercury, sweeping the Phoenix Mercury 4-0. The Aces had a season where it started out very inconsistent. At first, they was lingering around the 500 mark, and then, like in the second half of the season, they just took off. Shouts out to Asia Wilson, the league MVP. She will, when she leaves the game, she will be known as one of the most dominant players in the WNBA. One of the most dominant. Her numbers every game speak for themselves. Asia Wilson is a dominating force, and she is her. She is definitely her. Shout out to Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces. Won it for the third time in 4 years. And that's my show. All About Sports 216 The Show. This is your man Keith Allen. Have a good weekend. Have a safe evening. Have a good weekend. I will see you Sunday at 12 o'clock for the All About Sports 216 Cleveland Browns pregame show, as I'll talk about the insights between the Browns and the Miami Dolphins and who do I think will win this matchup. But this is your man Keith Allen signing out for All About Sports 216. Everybody have a good night. Be safe. Be well. And I will see you on Sunday. Peace.
We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
Here I am, like Q-tip, can I kick it? Get down on the track and just flip it, rip it. The pieces down to the last letter as the beat goes on. My style gets better, it's the J-U-I-C, better known as Mr. Hood. The one that keeps you jumping when you up in the club. How many niggas will it take to make a hit? Me, KDM, man, that nigga Charlie Nick. I know this title got you thinking that we talking about bud, but since I got your attention, nigga, blaze it on up. And to quote my nigga Hump, smoke what you like. Let a different type of high delight your appetite like the munchie. I know you want more, like a junkie. So pop in my shit, crank it up and just bump me. Oh, us, we bought the game with music levels. Got the shit with the gift, take it to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level. Eddie Black coming back on a mission where the dollar's at. I'm chilling with my friends, collecting dividends after years of getting nothing. It's time to get something. Mad focus, not distracted. Strapped like a prophylactic. Understanding me might take a while, but you weren't used to my porno style. I took you for a loop like salt and pepper. I made you shoot. Now you love me or hate me due to my style. You wanna date my black sheep, so it's either this or that. Addicted to my look like cheese, the hood rats. You said you wanted more, knocked out, you hit the floor. Real Reaper in the collective lifetime, we disconnect. Eternally burning in hell. Now, with the lifestyle you live, no wonder you fail. You live in scandalous like dope fiends, out here selling pipe dreams. They need to get over by any means.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next
We
level.
kicked them hardcore style, I left you tricks addicted. Smoothed it out on side B, cause that's how dark cloud rip it. Check the versatility, our agility is sweet on how we keep it real with simple styles and techniques. Dark skins, witty rough and Mr. Hood on cameos. Got gangsters to hip hop niggas digging our flows. They screaming out, y'all niggas ain't shit, but that's on the album. Not afraid to have that Cleveland sound, so we don't worry about them. Those Wu-Tang wannabes and those no limit imposters. West side dick riding fake Jay-Z monsters. You wanna be them? Jigga, get your own click. Get your own style, Jigga, get your own gimmick. Us pretending to be somebody that we're not. I'm down with dark cloud for life, cause that's the way that we kick it. Resentment, you have it, cause opportunity, we grab it. While you smiling face, niggas still stabbing at it as we take it to the next level.
I definitely kinda high.
To the next level, on to the next level.
I definitely kinda
niggas keeping it tight. Dropping hot shit, everybody know that they like. To the hydro, tight flow, rocking the mic. Insane to the brain, but we keeping it hype. Now we lace the tracks that'll make you sick. Multiply by the high that'll make you quit. Realizing that your shit will never be hot. Cause Dark Cloud about to have this rap game on lock. With your girl on my nuts and I'm making a holler. Mesmerize, hypnotize her how I pop my collar. Now you know that she fucking with a lyrical scholar. And she in the back naked, gotta counting my dollars. Everything that I spit is every hood's motto. From Cleveland to DC to Denver, Colorado. There's too much funk that you just can't swallow. A different kind of high that makes your chest feel hollow.
A different kind of high.
To the next level, on to the next level.